This is The Lunch Break with Zach and Dana on ESPN 106.7.
All right, welcome back into The Lunch Break. Dana, we finally have our first guest.
In fitting fashion.
There you go.
Auburn head softball coach Clint Myers joining us in the studios.
Coach, how you doing?
Good, Zach. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Hi, Dana.
I'm here too.
Yeah, oh, yeah. He just acknowledged me. That's it.
I mean,
I'm sitting next to you,
I
Dana.
know.
Well, Coach, how's it been? What you been up to?
It's been an interesting fall, getting these young freshmen to start to learn how to play Auburn softball. We will be starting our fall season on the 15th and 16th of October at Jane B. Moore Field, and then the 21st and then the 29th is our fall schedule. So there'll be 8 games total. Practice has been going pretty well. We can see kids getting better. We got a few kids banged up that, it's college ball. It's a little tougher than high school, and it's a whole lot more work. So, they're getting after it pretty good. We're pretty excited about, the direction we're going.
How was alumni weekend this past weekend? I know you guys had your alumni game and other people coming back. Was it weird to see like Tiffany and Jade and those girls on the other side now?
Oh yeah, I mean it's really kind of a fun part of the cycle of life, because you watch these kids grow, and then now they're sitting in the other dugout and really getting into paying their own bills and having real jobs, and boy, Coach, you told us it was different, and to listen to their stories and to see the people. What was even more exciting was the alumni. We had alumni come back when Auburn played slow pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And those people were telling great stories. They brought papers and literature of articles from when they were here, and to listen to their stories. And they played out at the old rec field, and I mean their stories represent what the progress that Auburn has made and women's sports has made through the decades, because it wasn't all that much fun for them way back when, but it's they're excited about the direction we're going, and it's fun.
I'm about to say, it would be kind of interesting to talk to some of them about where you guys have gone in the past, 3 years. And I would wonder what it would be like to sit and watch a game with them, and they're watching you guys on, ESPN in, Game 3 of the College World Series. Like, I'm sure their perspective is just so different than a casual fan, or even a more than casual fan of the program.
Well, after it was over, I mean, that you're right. It would be kind of a lot of fun to have that experience. But one of the alums, that it was talking to us afterwards. She goes, we didn't have the opportunity to play for you, but we were sitting watching you. And boy, I tell you what, we played at Auburn. We're a softball alumni from Auburn, and yes, you are representing us. And yeah, I mean, but there was a great pride in her voice, because it is that family mentality that, hey, listen, we're representing many generations and decades of softball.
It's great.
Yeah, cool.
Did you watch? I mean, you've become a softball fan, Zach.
Oh, definitely. I watched most of the games last year, and either I went to them, or the SEC Network's made it so easy, and the SEC Network Plus, to watch all the games. So I think that's helped a lot. But obviously, the success that you've brought to Auburn softball has been outstanding, and those games are so fun to go to.
I want to know how it is to go to as a fan, because I've always just had to
You're always reporting on it. Yeah.
I don't know. I got to figure. Maybe I'll take a break this season. Will you let me?
Oh, I'd love for you to come just as a fan and enjoy yourself instead of having to work.
That'd be weird.
You have your regular seat you have to sit in, right?
Yes. So I don't even know if you know this one, but when not last year's Super Regional, but the year before, I was on the end. And that was, I was on the end for the regular regional and the super regional. And then this year, when they were moving things around, Corey asked me, he's like, "Where's your seat at?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm somewhere around here." He goes, "But you're not on the end, but you sit on the end. That's where you sit when we win. So you're going to have to move down to the end." But even in the small the small inside press box, it's very much, I sit in one place, Charles Goldberg sits in the other. Everybody else has to fill in around us, but myself and Charles have our assigned seats because that's just how we kind of roll.
Well,
So
I'm not superstitious, so you can sit anywhere you
well,
like.
that's good to know because sometimes
It's not all on you, Dana.
Oh, that's great because I am very superstitious, and I would get like weirded out last year when I couldn't cover one series because of my brother's wedding,
Right.
and I was really worried. I'm like, if they get swept this series,
It's your fault.
It's my fault. Like that was a lot of pressure. Like so, I'm at my brother's wedding, and I was refreshing it, and Casey had hit a walk-off home run, I think, to win the first game, and I'm like, whew.
We're good.
We're good.
That's it.
No one's gonna be mad at you.
No, we're fine. Everything is fine. But so kind of talking about this year. I mean, Casey is one that is back. It was kind of nice to hear her name. Like it was weird to hear Casey Cooper and hear the Coop at Jordan Hare when you guys were recognized. That was a lot more fans than you guys.
Oh yeah.
When you have 85 plus yelling that out.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal experience. The girls,
Oh, yeah.
the girls just loved it. Have the ability to go out there and share their experience, and the little video that was on there, and I mean, it really is a nice way of recognizing some very good accomplishments. And Jay Jacobs has just done a phenomenal job of doing that with all the sports.
Yeah.
And getting the people out there in front of those football fans too. And the applause and the excitement was phenomenal. But it is the way Auburn does things, to recognize very good seasons.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had it the 1 week. I think next week equestrian,
Oh,
one
definitely.
national. So that was the next week. So it is nice to see there guys. And I talked to some of the girls, and some of them who even had been down there when you guys were recognized last year, they still had that wide eye. You know what I mean? Like you're still on the field, you see all the people. But I was a little mad during the highlight segment that my bunt was not on there.
Your bunt.
Okay, so backstory is that JG Tate, who is with Auburn Rivals, he and I made a slight, friendly wager in the press box that I thought I could lay a bunt down off of any pitcher that he picked.
Okay.
So first he picked Kaylee Carlson. Then I found out that he asked Emily Carasoni, who should I pick? And he's like, no, pick Michaela. Pick Michaela all day long. She won't be able to do it. I technically struck out, but then she touched me another one and she laid it off, laid a little bit off of it, and I was able to get the bunt down.
Okay.
But it's on video. I have the video, but it was not used in the
I haven't seen the video yet. I'd love
Oh,
it.
yes. Yes, it was.
You need to show them.
I need to show
I want
'em.
to see it as well.
Yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, that wasn't on there. So this year, okay, so Jade's gone, Tiffany's gone, Lexi, Rachel, like a lot of names that people have come to know. Is it been weird to not see those ones down there? Because I feel like they've been here. I mean, they've been here the entire time you've been here, and they've become household names for you.
Oh, exactly. And they were phenomenal players and students, and now they're phenomenal alumni. But you don't replace those people. What you do is you go out and you put somebody at the same position to now make their own legacy to start. And you start looking, because what most people do is we put a freshman out there and you compare them to, Emily Carasoni senior year or Jade senior year. Well, there's 4 years difference. If you have something, you need to go back to their respective years. What was Tiff like as a freshman or a sophomore, or Emily as a freshman or a sophomore. Each year these young ladies got better and better, and that's the progression of life. That as you learn and you're able to handle and control the mental side with the physical side, which becomes easier as you get older. The seasons got better. So. We're telling them, hey, you're not replacing anybody. What you are doing is you become our first baseman, our second baseman, our left fielder, because the left side is going to be, pretty good with Cooper and Fagan out there short and third. And the transfer we have from Washington is a phenomenal hitter. Tannen Snow, she probably will be getting some time there. And then we've got freshman Justice Perry and sophomore Kendall Veach, playing at first base there. And then at second base, Casey McCracken is doing a great job, really making some nice plays and hitting a little better. Emily Spain is out there. And then you also have KK Crocker, another freshman. Shortstop Whitney Jordan is still playing some shortstop, but also getting some outfield time. So I mean, we have a lot of options,
That's good.
and we're going to have better depth. Most of our depth this year is going to be the younger kids
Hmm.
in the outfield. I mean, Victoria Draper and Madison Gibson are not even participating this fall because of surgeries they had, and we're not in any hurry. Just we want to make sure they get good and healthy, and so that they're ready to attack the spring. So that's leaving the outfield wide open. Morgan Padani and Bree Fornes of the returners are doing well with Sydney Waldrop. Then our freshmen, Alyssa and Rivera, Carmen Greenwood, and I know there's one more that I'm missing here. And I was doing so well.
You were doing well. I was like going to start like going on the roster and like making a check off. See.
Brittany Marcette.
There you go.
And so,
There it is.
those freshmen are learning and figuring out how we do things here at Auburn, and really, we're pretty excited that they're doing so well. So it's going to be an interesting season. We do have at this point in time a lot of options. So
Options are good. Do we need to go to break?
Yeah, we'll go to break. Coach, you good hanging out with us, or you need to go?
No, I'll hang. Let's get this thing
Great.
going.
All right, fantastic. You're listening to the lunch break. I hadn't heard that one. I
Use
liked
a
that
phone?
one. Use a phone.
I wish we could have heard all of some of these ones we haven't heard yet.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Which is fun. That's cool. That's okay.
Keeps us on our toes.
That's exactly right.
It was very funny.
Yeah. Well, welcome back into the lunch break. Zach and Dana here, joined by Auburn softball coach Clint Myers. And yeah, Coach, we're super glad that you chose to hang out with us for a little bit longer. We were only thinking we were getting a segment, so this is nice.
Oh, it's this is where the cool people are. So I definitely having fun, visiting with you guys.
3 days in, and that's already the known fact. This is where the cool kids
Yes.
are. Love that.
Yes, so excited. Okay, so I have to ask you. We were talking a little bit this off air, but your schedule to begin the real season, the spring season, not the fall one, is slightly ridiculous in terms of difficulty. So you go to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which that's not bad to go to in February, against Washington, which was a regional team last year, Oklahoma, who people remember that was the Women's College World Series final, Nebraska, which I believe is a regional team, and BYU. Are they regional too? Okay.
Golly.
So, why? I don't know how else to ask that. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's kind of interesting. In fact, our entire schedule, we'll have one of the toughest opponent schedules with everybody that we're playing through the course of the year. We're so young. We have 18 freshmen and sophomores, so getting them out into the thick of things. Because of the fact that we've got to be playing great softball when the playoffs come.
Mm-hmm.
So we break it into thirds: the preseason, the conference, and then postseason. So getting our the opportunity to get in with these very good programs. It's not normally how we do it, but again, sitting and visiting with the folks, we're trying to do a little something different to see, what the one thing we can manage to correct to get that one more run, to get that one more out, to get that one more win that would allow us to be a national championship. So, we're always trying to upgrade the program.
I think you did that on schedule this year.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, if you look at the schedule, there's some very, very good talented teams we're playing.
I mean, I was looking at it when it was first released, but doubleheader with James Madison, which was a super regional team, and they were actually my sleeper to maybe get into the World Series last year until they ran into LSU. I really thought they could do it.
Oh, I did too. In fact, they beat us last year in the Florida tournament. They, the coach does a great job, and they've got talented kids and they compete hard. So you look at the rest of those teams that we're playing. I mean, there's some very, very good teams we're playing.
You have a non-conference against Tennessee, which I thought was an interesting throw in there because you don't have them on the SEC schedule this year, correct?
Correct. We're going to Columbia. It's a game for charity. The city kind of puts it on. Tennessee goes there and plays there's going to be 4,000 to 5,000 people in the money. He stays in the town
Mm-hmm.
and does some things for their charities and stuff. So
That's nice.
it is nice. I mean, have a great softball game and help somebody.
So we're going to go back to Puerto Vallarta because this is going to also go into our Twitter poll, which actually Coach Myers said this should be our Twitter poll of the day. They're playing in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which would mean I would have to get a passport because I don't own one, and B, money. Because I'm pretty sure the OA News is going to probably frown upon me going to Puerto Vallarta when they were like, do you need to go to Oklahoma? Do you need to go to Starkville? Like, so I'm pretty sure if they're questioning a Starkville trip last year for the SEC tournament, Mexico might be a little out of it. So, but maybe I could start a GoFundMe account. So, Twitter poll of the day. Would you help fund me to go cover Auburn softball in Mexico? Which games against, again, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Washington, and BYU? We already have 2 votes. And one person said, sure, sign me up. Another person went, wish I could, but sorry. The other option is, no, she can pay for herself, which is completely fair. And just we'll throw in our Twitter poll from yesterday, which I will ask you this then, because I would like your opinion, was what are your feelings on cowbells? Because, you're going to people are going to Starkville this week, and we need to know what you're going to feel with about the cowbells, and why can't I find it? Oh my goodness gracious.
Just go down our tweets, Dana.
I know I am, and I went right past it. I swear to goodness, I should be better at this.
Well, the options were you like them, you hate them, they're okay on a farm with cows.
Yes. What's your vote? What are your feelings
Or need
on
more
cowboys?
cowbell. Right.
Well, the cowbells are fine, but everybody needs to be able to have them, not just certain sports. I mean, so,
What would you feel if cowbell started becoming a thing at J.B. Moore?
it would drive the opposition nuts. It's not necessarily a sound a tiger would make, and I don't think it's anything we could hang around the Eagles' neck. So, I mean, justification on that might be difficult, but I think it would drive the people crazy.
All right, so the official Twitter poll results from yesterday.
You found it, good.
I found it, yes. 51% hate them, which is...
That's expected.
I was expecting that. 35% are okay with them on a farm with cows.
Which makes sense.
8% need more cowbell. And 6%, I love them.
Okay.
Obviously, these are highly scientific Twitter polls. I don't know if you'd expect anything else out of me.
I think you're spot on right there.
Okay, so as we get going, I wanted to ask you a few things because people know you for the stopwatch, which you're wearing. What quick, I guess the abridged version of when did you start wearing it, and when do you actually take it off?
I started wearing it at Arizona State. Basically, there's a couple reasons. One, I used to carry it in my pocket.
Okay.
But the cord on it would get caught on things, and I'd end up tearing my pants in my pocket, And I'd go home and I said, tell my wife I did it again, so she'd have to sew the pocket.
Poor
So
Katie.
That's awesome.
exactly. So my dad told me a long time ago, a happy wife is a happy life.
Mm-hmm.
So I started wearing it around my neck because this way I'm not tearing anything. It doesn't get caught.
That's good.
And I time things. I just I can tell you how long it took me to get from the meeting I was at to here was 11 minutes. I'm going to time myself back to the field. So I mean, it's just one of these things that kind of if you know how long it's going to take for you to get someplace, because I hate being late. And I always have the what if plan. The watch kind of gives you the longest it's ever taken, anything with lights and traffic would be, from my house is 17 minutes. So I always allow myself a good 20 minutes to get to work. So
Wow.
I'm always early.
Wow. Okay, now, so I have to ask, because I feel like now that I just don't have a good life plan because I don't time myself everywhere. Okay, so obviously you time things at practice, right?
Correct.
Players running in between innings, all of that. Have you ever timed interviews with the media?
Yes. Yes, I'm not timing this one.
That's good.
But I have. I mean,
I just want to know which one the longer ones were and who was there, because knowing the media that cover us, that we're all there, you could probably tell who was there for the shorter ones and who was there for the longer ones.
well, there are certain things you
He's like, yeah, you're right.
but
you can say
you
it.
disclose,
You can
but
say
no, I mean, there are some things, and the in between innings is a big one because we try and get our pitchers out there so they're ready to go when the inning's over and not just standing. So There's multiple watches on
Have
that.
you ever timed when you go to a restaurant, like from when you put your order in to when you get your food?
Oh, yeah. It's not advisable. Not advisable.
Oh my gosh,
All right.
this is great.
We got to head to break. We'll be back in a second. You're listening to the Lunch Break.